So we finally have some good news surrounding COVID and the whole pandemic. As you guys probably already know, there's been a huge surge in cases here in the US over the past couple months or so, and it's really only been getting worse. There's been no sign of cases slowing down at all. If anything, they've been rising faster over the past week or two. And like I said, we finally have some good news here involving the pandemic, because one of the main companies that's been working on a vaccine since the whole pandemic began, pretty much the company that people have been the most hopeful will get a vaccine out first, which is Pfizer. They have been in stage 3 of the development of this vaccine since July, which is pretty much the stage where the vaccine gets sent out to hundreds of thousands of people, just to make sure that, there's no horrible side effects on different age ranges and stuff like that, and people with weaker immune systems or whatever, and just to make sure that it's completely effective for everyone. And with that being said, today Pfizer announced that their vaccine tested 90% effective, which for reference, they needed 50% effectiveness to pass the test they were doing to go on to the next stage or whatever, and it passed with 90% effectiveness, which is apparently even better news than it sounds like, because on top of the fact that that's just obviously really good news for this vaccine and for Pfizer, apparently this also gives scientists a lot of hope that other vaccines from different companies will also be extremely effective for whatever reason. I don't know how that works. I'm not a scientist, but apparently there's some kind of correlation here. So this gives scientists a lot of hope for all the other vaccines that are being worked on right now. Now, Pfizer said that it will likely apply for emergency authorization in the 3rd week of November, and if everything goes according to plan, the vaccine could be authorized for certain high-risk populations before the end of the year. And Pfizer said that obviously if everything goes according to plan, that they could have 30 to 40 million doses of the vaccine before the end of the year, which is enough for 15 to 20 million people to get an initial shot and then a booster shot 3 weeks later. And those first 15 to 20 million doses would most likely be going to elderly and high-risk groups of people and to medical workers inside hospitals and stuff like that. But Pfizer also said they could ramp up to 1.3 billion doses a year eventually, which obviously there's 7 billion people in the world, so that wouldn't be enough for everyone. But as time goes on, more companies are expected to have vaccines, so it won't be all reliant on Pfizer. So from what I read, this vaccine, even if everything goes perfectly according to plan, there's no problems at all, everything is just textbook, this vaccine still wouldn't be available to the general public until well into next year. But either way, that's obviously great news. And also they said, this is pretty interesting, they said for people wondering how the vaccine will work initially whenever we do finally have it for the general public, you won't just have the vaccine and just immediately nobody wears a mask, everything's back to normal. You can throw parties with hundreds of people and go to football games or whatever. They said that initially masks and everything would still be required and social distancing until cases and the threat was low enough, and then that's when things would start to go back to normal. So how the timeline of events is supposed to work here is at some point next year this vaccine should go out to the general public, and then obviously cases are going to start dropping because people are going to be vaccinated, which is going to help a considerable amount. And then once cases are low enough, things will go back to normal and people can go outside without masks, and it'll be like it was before, March this year. Hopefully. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about this down in the comments. Are you excited for there to hopefully be a vaccine sometime in 2021? I know there were some people saying that there wouldn't be a vaccine at all and there was no chance. It's the end of the world, but it seems like there is actually some hope here. So with that being said, that's where we're gonna wrap up this video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at RelexYT, and other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.